What's up guys, my name is Dean, aka the Blue Crusader, and welcome back to the channel. There's thousands of games out there to play and it's impossible to play all of them, but not all games turn out great and some of the old ones lying in your library get stale. Well, with the spirit of it being a brand new year, in today's video we'll be taking a look into the top 10 best upcoming PC games of 2020 this year. These are all promising games that look super awesome and are either remakes, sequels, or just entirely new games and franchises altogether that look like they'll be a blast to play from what we've seen so far. So if you're looking for some of the best games dropping this year and you need to know which ones you should spend your hard-earned money on, then look no further. Let's get into the video. Number 10. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. One of my most favourite games of all time for the original Xbox was SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. If you had a PS2 back in the day as a PlayStation player or the original Xbox, you might be familiar with this nostalgic title. This game was awesome as it let you play as both SpongeBob and Patrick as you fight evil robots of planktons around Bikini Bottom. The original game had one of the best video game soundtracks for me personally, and the new game is back with an all-new remastered soundtrack too, with all of the original 15 tracks. The game is remade in modern form with the lovable graphics that you expect, so it should be a mega nostalgia drop. You can play as SpongeBob, Patrick and Sandy as you battle Plankton and his minions who are laying waste to Bikini Bottom. You can do awesome special moves and you can even now play an online co-op multiplayer or split screen mode on the same machine. The game drops on the 23rd of June and you can already pre-order it now. I haven't personally pre-ordered it myself, but I'm pretty hyped just to check out how the remaster of one of my favourite childhood games is going to be to play. Number 9. Those Who Remain. Set to release this month on the 28th of May and probably already out by the time you watch this video, Those Who Remain is a game developed by Camel 101. It's a game set in the town of Dormant where horrors and strange happenings linger. It'll be a challenge to stay sane as you attempt to survive in a chilling first-person horror thriller experience that will psychologically test you along the way. With words of disappearances around the town and whispers of strange happenings, it really sets the scene as a spooky place. You'll explore derelict abandoned gas stations, see dark shadows emerge from the fog on streets at night, creep down endless corridors inside or through overgrown interiors, see floating chairs in rooms flung around, and more. This is definitely one for those of you who love to be scared or feel a chill run down your spine when you play a horror game alone. I've not always been the biggest fan of playing horror games at night time, but I do kind of feel in the mood to play them right now, and that's why I wanted to feature this in this list. Number 8. Outer Wilds. As the newest member of the Outer Wilds space exploration program tasked with exploring a mysterious, ever-evolving solar system, you have to explore to find out answers to questions such as who built ruins on the moon or why are you stuck in time. In the game you venture to some of the darkest, most dangerous depths of wild space. Each and every planet is unique with secret locations within that house secrets such as underground cities or disintegrating planets with harsh environments, or with natural disasters like hurricanes. It's an open world story about basically finding why your space system is stuck in a time loop and how you can stop it. It's a fun exploring game with lovable graphics and great for those with creative minds or that just love a good adventure and story. The game is planned to be released on June the 18th on Steam for any PC player looking to pick it up this year. Number 7. New World. From newly formed Amazon Game Studios, New World is a highly anticipated MMORPG game right now which is set to drop on the 25th of August 2020 on Steam and Amazon. It's a huge RPG currently in beta that has some truly beautiful landscapes. In the mid 1600s, as a player you colonize the fictional world which is heavily based upon British America upon the Atlantic Sea. You gather resources, garner goods and craft different items and fight other players in PvP combat. The thing that's enticing about this game is it uses a similar model to the Elder Scrolls Online as it has a buy to play model in which players buy the game once and then can continue to play it without a monthly subscription. although there may be more DLC in the future to purchase if it's successful, but with corporate giant Amazon behind it, I'm sure it will be. The game is set in the world of Eternum, the Eternal Isle, a mysterious land with time-worn places and buildings created by the ancients of old. Battle against forces of corruption and enemy players, and fight in a hostile land against enemies. So far they've released a lot of different teaser images of how the world looks, and it looks really great, but they haven't yet released any kind of playable build, so we're not so sure about how the game will play, but it looks visually great. Number 6, Marvel's Avengers. Inspired by the movies and comics, Marvel's Avengers lets you play as a hero as you assemble the greatest team of the Earth's heroes to battle the outside threat and master your powers. It's an awesome third-person action-adventure experience that blends an all-new cinematic story separate from the comics or the movies with single-player and also co-op multiplayer. You can battle up to 4 players side by side online and customize a large collection of superheroes to defend Earth with. During an all-new Avengers HQ being shown to the public by the heroes in San Francisco is attacked by a mysterious enemy who creates an attack that appears to be an accident. As per usual, as we've seen in the movies, things go wrong and the Avengers are blamed for the event, and they're disbanded and exiled. As all of the heroes are split 5 years later in hiding after being outlawed and with the world in a catastrophe, the young Kamala Khan embarks on a mission to reform all of the Avengers again to stop the AIM, a new secret force of unchecked power causing mayhem. It's a completely new story that fans should find fresh, and it looks like a super cool game to play. Expect to get your hands on it on Steam on the 4th of September. Those who are fans of the movies will notice that the characters do have different voices as it's not a movie game, but it does look like an awesome Marvel experience. Number 5, Death Stranding. I'm sure this isn't a new title for those of you PS4 players who have been able to play it to your heart's content since November of last year, but Death Stranding is a highly anticipated game for the PC too, which is coming this year. It's already garnered impressive reviews and high praises from critics and fans alike, and it's coming to Steam on the 14th of July. It's published by 505 Games and developed by Kojima Productions, and many people will be familiar with this game as it features Walking Dead actor Norman Reedus and actor Mads Mikkelsen. After civilization's fall, you must journey across an arid, harsh landscape as the character Sam Bridges in a dangerous world that poses many threats in an attempt to save mankind from the edge of extinction. Set sometime in the future, huge strange explosions have laid waste to the planet, creating a collection of supernatural type events collectively referred to as the Death Stranding. Strange spectral creatures called beach things litter the wasteland that's left to oppose you as you seek to find a solution. You have to deliver cargo, shipments and supplies to researchers and survivors, and KNOTs, which are isolated cities called knots dotted around the landscape. You have to reconnect all of these personnel to a communications network referred to as the Chirol network. Along the way you have to fight Mule, which is a group of bandits who seek to steal your cargo deliveries throughout the game. It's a pretty thrilling title that's definitely worth waiting for on PC. Number 4, Cyberpunk 2077. Everyone will know of the developer of the famous Witcher game series, CD Projekt Red. Cyberpunk 2077 is another one of their amazing looking titles, which is coming on the 17th of September this year. This game is an RPG that looks amazing. It's basically a story-based, role-playing title set in the future in a dark world. It's becoming a recent trend with the technology behind motion capture and the sheer high quality of visuals nowadays to blend Hollywood with the gaming industry, as we previously covered Death Stranding and how other games such as Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order have done when they blended actor Cameron Monaghan into the game as the Jedi Cal Kestis. This game features Keanu Reeves, and the game is set in Night City, which is a huge metropolis fueled by power-craving lunatics and people who are in favour of body modifications and just living in glamour. The main character that you control is called V, who is a mercenary outcast who is seeking out an implant which promises immortality for its user. You can change how your character looks, modify their cyberware and kit or skill set, and play what the style is of your liking, and the city is basically a huge vast construct that should be pretty awesome to explore and shape throughout the story. The game is based based on Project Red's exclusive game engine called Red Engine, and it's being worked on by over 500 people, which is basically a replacement engine they're using for the Aurora engine, which they loaned from BioWare when developing the Witcher games. Number 3, Streets of Rage 4. Streets of Rage is a super old franchise at this point, and the older games were some of my favourite on the old consoles to play. I didn't play them too much, but I did play them enough to actually enjoy them, and although I'm not a fan or an avid player of side-scrolling punch-em-up games, Streets of Rage was always a really fun one to play. It's known as one of the most popular best 90s beat-em-up series of all time that we've seen, and it's back again for Streets of Rage 4 for a tribute to the classic style that everyone loves. In Japan it's referred to as bare knuckle, and the new title brings electronic dance style music with all mechanics and a new style of hand-drawn looking visuals. There's all of the new characters added to the game, as well as the classic characters like Skate, Max, Axel and Blaze making a return with some of the new ones. There's all new moves and criminals, and you can play the old characters in the perfect pixel form like the old days. Streets of Rage 4 is the first game into the core franchise since 25 years, so it seems time for it to come back in full force for a tribute. It's set in Wood Oak City, and you have to clean up the streets of crime, with a dozen former characters being able to be unlocked and played in the classic form across the 12 unique stages. The great thing is you can also kick some butt with the classic music from the older games too. At the original time of scripting this video though, this was up and coming, but you can now actually get your hands on it on Steam, so you can just go ahead and buy this one. Number 2, Occupy Mars the game. The idea of space travel and colonization is something we all wonder about and find pretty enthralling. Well, Occupy Mars is a great title that imagines just that and lets you explore what it would be like to go to Mars and to make it inhabitable. You have to survive on Mars in this awesome space survival game and colonize the planet by constructing your own base, mining for resources and collecting water and oxygen stores, discovering new regions, growing plants and a lot of other things. It's a technical based sandbox survival game which is in space and it looks really cool. You have to think about everything in this game, like going back to the basics. Do you have enough food or water or oxygen to survive? Perhaps you need more power? Well, you can build greenhouses, fuel generators, pipes and cables for machines, and a lot more, which all have realistic electronic components which can be fixed and wired together. Using a buggy rover, you can explore the regions of Mars to find the resources you need at mining sites to build up your city or to find water sources. There is this day and night cycle system which brings all new challenges and opportunities, such as the ability to use solar arrays to store energy. You can also upgrade your buggy and vehicles you use to explore the planet with in the garage workshop, where you can modify the vehicle's appearances and change their hydraulics, arms and the different rigs on them to improve them. Number 1, Kerbal Space Program 2. The sequel to the highly popular Kerbal Space Program, KSP2 is back again as the spaceflight simulation title that everyone loves. Now, I recently picked up the original game on sale, so this one definitely appeals to me as a future release, although I am yet to play it. The original game became a pretty big hit on Steam because it was so fun and you can just get lost in it for so many hours. Kerbal Space Program 2 has been completely overhauled with a redesign by the developers at Star Theory Games to take it to the next level of what fans want from the genre. The whole premise of the game is to make your own space program in order to create all new spacecraft and create colonies to gather resources to reach the edges of the galaxy to discover what it has in store. The new planet colonies let you explore the game more by letting you build structures like space stations, habitations and different fuel types via resources, letting them advance to a stage in which they can create vehicles themselves. The all-new interstellar travel with brand new tech to let you explore brand new planets with awesome rewards such as super gravity worlds or planets made of molten iron is really awesome. The game will feature new tutorials, a better UI system and completely revamped features to let new players get into the experience a little bit quicker than how they did before. Personally, I love space games. This should be one to check out if you enjoy space games too. And that concludes these best upcoming PC game titles of this year. Let me know below which is your favourite game which is coming out this year, and let me know if there's any games that I missed off this list that you think look awesome. Make sure to like the video and subscribe, and thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.